Hi, and today we will be talking about formalizing in relations and functions. Okay, so relations are just simple expressions that have, well, relations like just a relation between a numbers and variables. So like 3x minus 5, that's a relation. Also, we have 4y squared minus 3, that's a relation. That's pretty simple. Let me see. Square roots. I believe that's alt 251. Oh, there we go. Square root of 2x minus 7. That's a relation. I mean, it's just a relation. You plug in a number, and what you're doing is on this one, you're timesing by 3, then you're minusing 5 for every time you plug in a number. For this one, you're squaring it, then timesing by 4, then minusing 3. On this one, you times it by 2, minus by 7, and then square root that. So all of these have their own things. Uh, something that also has this, you can mix it in with variables, x plus y squared. Okay, that's a relation. So these are all relations. Okay, relations are just simple expressions. All right, now function has one unique answer for each input. Okay, right here I can tell you right off the bat that this is a function, this is a function, this is a function, this one however is not. Okay, so a function is if I plug in 4, I go 4 times 3, and minus which is 12, minus 5, I get 7. That gets one unique answer for each input, and I'm not going to change that and stuff. Okay, now this one down here does make a world of trouble. Okay, alright, and I'll explain why in a sec, why I'm kind of not plugging in numbers to actually show you this. Okay, so basically, the huge thing that you guys are going to have to go over, let's get a line going right here, okay, is the coordinate plane. You have to use just your wits about you, okay? Alright, so all this stuff that I've been talking about, just working with finding the difference between a relation and a function, okay? All of these numbers on the x-axis are numbers that we can plug in, so that's pretty simple, okay? Alright, all of these numbers on the y-axis are answers we get out. Okay, so we are going to call this the domain. It's the domain of numbers I can plug in, and this is going to be range. It's the range of answers I can get out. Okay, and the domain and range you do have to look at. Let's go blue. Okay, you do have to look at how far up and down the graph goes and how far left and right the graph goes, because just looking at a function, it's going to be kind of hard to tell all the time. Like, for example, when I showed you these ones in the beginning, you guys were going, well, I don't know how to tell if it's a relation or function. The best way to do it is to graph it, okay, and please use desmos.com. Okay, if you haven't got hooked on that, please do so. And then what you're going to do is use the vertical line test. Okay, now the best way to use the vertical line test is to set x equal to any number and then to use slider beneath. Okay, so use slider beneath. So you don't have to always set it to x equals 3. If you just set it to x equals 5 or x equals 7, what you'll do is you'll get a line that looks like, pretty much a line that looks like this, and you can use the vertical line test. Okay, and then when you use the slider, what happens is you can actually move the graph around. You can move the line around and test your vertical line test. Okay, so vertical line test, long story short, if it touches my graph more than once, I have an issue. Okay, in other words, I don't have a function, I just have a relation. Okay, all right, so this one up here, okay, this one is a line, so that's going to pass the vertical line test. This one is going to be a parabola, which if you do a horizontal line, you will touch it twice. Okay, and that actually means something. That means it doesn't have an inverse, so that's kind of cool. But in actuality, it's actually it's just a parabola. So it's gonna, no matter how straight up and down you get it, you're always going to touch the graph once. And this one right here is a square root. Believe it or not, you're actually just going to touch the graph once at each point. Okay, this one is actually a circle. And so when you test it out, you're going to find out that it doesn't pass it at all. And there's no way you can actually pass it. So what you can do is just graph it, use Desmos.com, and use the vertical line test. And just play with it, mess around with it, just use it the best you can, okay? It's a great way to use a vertical line test and have it be useful. Okay, that's it. Formalizing relations and functions. Another train of thought before I leave. All functions are relations, but not all relations are functions. So you have to be careful. The vertical line test will always, without a doubt, tell you if you're dealing with a function or not. Okay. The range and domain, you do have to graph it and just look at it and use that type of stuff. And please, 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 go to Desmos, sign up, and use the vertical line test. Okay. All right. Thank you.